Hi everyone, it's Chloe from Chloe's Creative Cards, and today I'm going to show you how to create two different projects using the same stamp set. The stamp set I've chosen to use today is called Oh Christmas Tree, and this is from our Christmas Fashionista collection. So the first project that I'm going to show you is a really quick and easy project. It's fabulous for posting because it's nice and flat. So it's going to be this card here. And you can see how you've got all of that lovely detail there on the tree, but this is super easy to recreate. All of the items that I'm using are listed in the descriptions below with links where we've got them available on the website as well. So please do have a little look. So I've started off with a piece of plain white card and I've trimmed that down to 4.5 inches by 6.5 inches. I'm going to give it a dust over with an anti-static bag like so. Okay, I'm then going to take my Oh Christmas Tree stamp, which I've got popped onto one of our beautiful acrylic blocks, and I'm going to ink up the stamp. So to ink this up, I'm using a Wow Clear Ultra Slow Drying ink pad, and this is brilliant. It's a really nice sticky ink pad for using with all of your embossing powders and embossing glitters. So we've inked that tree up really well, and then what we're going to do now is we're going to place the tree, but just so it's slightly off the card, like so. So I'm just stamping it just a little way off, and then we're going to press. So you want firm, even pressure all over the stamp. We're then going to lift that away and we'll have a beautiful tree image. So what we're going to do next is take some embossing powder. So the one that I'm using is the Hollywood Hills Wow Embossing Glitter. We're going to take a piece of scrap card and sprinkle over the embossing glitter onto the image, like so. So we're going to give that a little sprinkle over and then tap away the excess. And you can see how fabulous that then looks. We now just need to heat this up. So I'm going to use my heat tool. We're going to hold the heat tool still, just got a tiny bit of excess powder there. And then as soon as we see that embossing powder start to melt and change, we need to move the heat gun over the image. So we're just chasing that embossing powder. As soon as it turns, we're just following it with the heat tool. Like so. Okay, while we're waiting for that to cool off, we're going to take a couple of the other stamps that you get in this set. So the first one that I'm going to use is the Oh Christmas Tree, which seems to be missing from my set. So let me just grab one. So it's this lovely stamp here. So it just says Oh Christmas Tree. I'm going to pop that onto my block. I'm going to ink that up, but for this one, I'm going to use a VersaFine Clair ink pad. And the colour is Morning Mist. We're going to lightly ink up the stamp. Then we're going to place this down to the side. About there. And press. We're going to lift that away. And then we're going to take a couple of the little starry elements that are on here. Taking these two little stars that are together to start with, and we're going to just like stamp a little starry trail coming down from the sentiment. Like so, and then a couple of little stars up here. I'm going to take that stamp off the block and swap in the larger star now. So we're going to just take that larger star, we're going to ink it up, stamp it down there and stamp another one in here. So you've like created just a little starry trail in the background. We're going to start and add a little bit of colour onto this card now. So the colour has been focused on the Christmas tree. I'm just going to take two colours of my Copic markers. I'm going to sit down to colour this one in. So I've got Ocean Green and Nile Green. And all I'm going to do is start with the darker colour first. And you're just going to take your pen and kind of flick the colour. Like this, all over that Christmas tree. So you're just flicking the colour. You really don't need to be too precise about this. Just get the colour on there. And then we're going to take the lighter green and do exactly the same again. But all I'm doing this time is just filling in where there's any little white gaps that we want to be in the lovely green colour. So all we're going to do is just work round, adding in this colour. Like so. And then you can see how beautiful and green that Christmas tree then looks. So what we're going to do next is take our Art Glitter Dries Clear Glue, and we're going to go in and just pop some little flicks of the glue all over the image, like so. Again, I'm not being too precise, I'm just scribbling the glue onto the tree. And this is a really nice project as well for posting, because we're going to keep it quite flat. I'm going to cover that with my Mint Crisp glitter. Okay, and then that's going to go straight back into the jar. We're then going to take another glitter. So the one that we're going to use now is called All Glistens. And it's very much like a snow effect glitter. So what I'm going to do is just freehand draw in some like little lines that are going to look a bit like kind of little snow mounds in front of the tree. And then sprinkle that with my glitter, tap away the excess, and you can see how beautiful that then looks. Straight back into the jar. Okay, and then next up we're going to take a little bit of silver glitter. So the silver glitter that I'm using is a one that we had in the range a little while ago called Silver Gilt. But you could use any silver glitter that you've got. And we're just using this to glitter the little star on the top of the tree, like so. Oops. As I just throw a load of glitter at myself there. There we go. Right, and then what we're going to do next is we're going to start to add in some little jewels onto the tree. Taking one of my Bling boxes, this is the Chloe's favourites that I'm using. And we're just going to put some little dots of glue all over the Christmas tree. There are little dots on the stamp if you want to follow them, but to be honest, you can just do it pretty randomly like this if you want to. And then we're going to start to pick up some jewels from the Bling box and just drop these onto the image. And this just adds like they kind of look like little baubles on the tree, which is really, really cute. So just going to dot these about like so in the background. Okay. So you can see how fab that then looks. And then we are going to take some little self-adhesive jewels. So I've got some here. I've got some smaller ones as well. So these are our sparkling silver self-adhesive sparkles, and they are beautiful. Oops, so we're going to add a couple onto the stars. Just add some little tiny ones in as well. There we go. It would be good if we had another just plain silver little tiny one. Have a look. Pop one of those on. It's going to go there. And then we're going to add in some of the larger ones, just as 3 little jewels into the corner, like so. So you can see how pretty and sparkly this then looks. I'm going to grab in my card blank. Just going to use a few foam pads to stick this one down. So we're going to pop some foam pads onto here, and then we're going to peel the backs off like so. Okay, that's then going to go straight down onto our card blank. And that there would be your finished card. So that's your first card using Our Christmas Tree stamp and die set, and I'm going to show you how to do another one now. So this one's going to be a little bit more involved and a little bit more more colour involved with this one. So what we're going to do is start off by taking a piece of our crystal white pearl card. We're going to give this a little dust over with an anti-static bag, and we're going to grab in that Christmas tree stamp again. We're going to re-ink it up with our Wow Clear Embossing ink pad. We're going to place that down onto the card and press. And you want firm, even pressure all over the image. So, I'm going to lift that off. And then we're going to take our scrap paper and again, we're going to cover it with the Hollywood Hills embossing glitter. So you're going to sprinkle that over and tap away the excess, like so. This is going to go straight back into the jar, and then we're going to heat this up. So to heat this up, again, we're just holding that heat gun still. As soon as that embossing powder starts to melt and change, we're going to just chase the image with the heat gun. Okay, just give that a little second to just cool off. While that does, I'm going to grab in my Christmas tree die, because of course this is a stamp and die set, so you do get the die for your Christmas tree as well. We're going to line that up over the top, like so, and tape it into place. So we want a little bit more low tack tape as well on this one. A little piece across the top, like so. And then we're going to run this through our die cutting machine. So I'm using my Gemini, so I'm using my base plate, my plastic shim, my piece of card with die on the top, and then my cutting plate on the top of there. Got my machine set up, so I'm just going to run that through. We're going to grab that out of the other side. And then when we remove the die cut from the card, you can see you've got that beautiful Christmas tree image there. So what we're going to do now is take some alcohol markers and colour in. So again, I'm using Copics. I've got the same 2 colours. So I'm using Ocean Green and Nile Green. I'm going to start with my darkest colour first. And literally, we're just going to flick the colour onto the image. It's the exact same way as we did before. We're not doing anything too complicated or anything like that. We're just getting the colour onto the Christmas tree. Okay. Then we're going to take our slightly paler green And just go over again, adding in the colour. And there we go. And you can see how beautiful that is then looking. Okay, we're going to do exactly the same technique again. So take our glue, literally scribble all over the image, like in little lines and little flicks, all with the glue like so. And then we're going to cover that with the mint crisp glitter. So sprinkle that over the top. And it almost looks like little fairy lights on the tree. I always think this glitter, because it's got kind of like the holographic particles in. It works really, really nicely. So what I've then done is taken another one of our Bling boxes. This one is called Festive Fancies. So you've got lots of different colours in here. So again, I'm going to just put some little dots of glue onto my Christmas tree like so. I'm going to take some of the blue ones first. And we're just going to add these onto the tree. And then these almost look like the most beautiful little baubles that you can just add onto your Christmas tree. And because you've got different sizes, you can use some of the smaller ones towards the top as well. And then we'll take a couple of red ones. Just drop these onto here. And then we're going to take some of the little goldy coloured ones. And just pop these into here. Like so. So you can just work your way through decorating up your Christmas tree. And of course you could do these in any colour that you like. Then also taking some of the little purple self-adhesive sparkles and just dropped some of these on as well. Oops. So you can just see how you can start to build this up. So I've got one that I've done that's already dry to show you. So bring that one in, move that one out of the way, bring this one in. You can see how gorgeous and sparkly that then looks. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just give the tree a little bit of shape. So just give it a little roll between your fingers. We're going to glitter this star on the top. I'm just covering that with my Dries clear PVA. We're then going to dunk that into some glitter. So the one that I'm using is Gold Rush. Tap away the excess. Then you can see how gorgeous that then looks. I've got some little mats and layers that I've already prepped here, ready to make this one up. So what we're going to do is stick this all together. So I've got my base layer here. I'm going to pop a little bit of glue onto the back of here. Like so. That's that one. Then I've got another piece of our pattern paper. These are from our Christmas fashion printed paper pads. And I've just matted that onto a little bit of Mars Red Pearl card. Of course, I've edged it with a little bit of our Crystallina glitter to give it that fabulous sparkle. That's going going to go onto there. Then got a piece of silver mirror card. Just get the backs off these. It's going to go onto there. And then we're going to pop this next layer on the top. Before I stick this one down, I'm going to take some white card and I'm just going to tear it. Okay, and this is going to create a little kind of hilly base for our tree to stand on. So I'm going to put that bit going across there. Put a little bit of glue onto here. To glue this down. So that's going to go onto there like so. I'm going to trim that away at the back just with some scissors, and then we'll stick this one going, take another bit and just do it going the other way. I'm going to just trim this off with my guillotine. Just grab that in. So we don't want too much a hill going the other way, so we'll just trim a little bit off like so. It's going to go there. Then we'll snip away at the back here, and that's then going to get stuck onto our card blank like so. There we go. We're then going to stick our gorgeous tree into the middle of there. Before we do though, I'm going to add just a little bit of that all that glistens just onto my gorgeous hills that run across here. Okay. So then we'll add this into here. Like so. Grab some foam pads to stick our tree on with, and what I'm going to do with the tree is I'm going to put it on a double layer, so then it'll be nice and three-dimensional. So just a couple of foam pads in the back. These are of course our foam pads on a roll that I'm using. Pop my tree down there. We're going to stamp the little "Oh Christmas Tree" sentiment. So let me just grab in my block to do that. So just use a little piece of white card to stamp this onto, and I'm going to use that VersaFine ink pad again in Misty Morning, I believe it was. I'm going to stamp that onto the white card, lift that away. Before I trim it, I'm just going to heat set that. So just giving that a little blast with the heat gun, and then we'll trim that down. Like so. I'm going to give this a little glittery border as well. Grabbing a little bit of scrap card. Grabbing my Crystallina glitter. So this is what I use to glitter around the edges as well. So I'm just using my chisel tip glue pen just along each side like so. That's then going to get stuck onto my card blank. So I'm just going to grab